Tonight on CTV News at 6, a sticky situation for Alberta's honey industry. Alberta businesses are bracing for more U.S. tariffs, including beekeepers, as our province exports the most natural honey.
Well, this isn't just a jobs impact or economic impact, it's a food security impact. So without the bee industry, we can actually see key crops also impacted.
Plus, an update from EPCOR on how its facilities held up in record rain.
The storms this year were very unique and quite extreme in nature.
And the University of Alberta unveils a new $16 million space for indigenous students.
This is the gold standard of how and which we should be serving our First Nations and Métis students.
Skies cleared out nicely through this afternoon, and we'll see some more sunshine and some heat over the next few days.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Nariman Isa.
Good evening. The U.S. president is threatening even more tariffs as the trade war escalates, and some Alberta businesses are bracing for impact. Donald Trump now says 50% tariffs are coming for vehicles, automotive parts, and steel. That mainly affects eastern provinces, but Alberta will feel the pressure when 50% tariffs kick in on $28 billion worth of Canadian goods on Saturday. Well, CTV's Jeremy Thompson is following the developments today. And Jeremy, these new tariffs are expected to hit some major industries in Alberta.
They are, Nariman, though for the time being, oil and gas in Alberta is not one of those industries. These new tariffs target a long list of goods, including saddles, hockey sticks, power tools, refrigerators, cement, and more. In Alberta, beekeepers are feeling the sting as the province that exports the most natural honey. It's extraction season for Alberta beekeepers, when months of careful planning and pollinating culminate in a honey harvest. For Richard Ozero, the recent collapse of trade talks between Canada and the United States has taken a bit of the buzz out of the room.
These disruptions in the markets is really, it couldn't come at a worse time, because this is when we're starting to barrel up our honey and get it ready for sale.
Alberta is Canada's biggest honey exporter. About $6 million worth a year typically heads across the border. As one of the products now facing a 50% import tariff, fewer American customers are likely to buy Canadian.
The Canadian honey has to go somewhere. If it's backed up back into Canada, now we're facing a glut of honey here, and that's going to suppress prices if we can't find other international buyers or encourage Canadian honey consumption.
The head of the Alberta Beekeepers Commission says some businesses are expecting job losses, even closures, if this level of tariff lasts.
So this isn't just a jobs impact or economic impact, it's a food security impact. So without the bee industry, we can actually see key crops also impacted.
Honey is one of dozens of Canadian goods set to face a 50% bump in American tariffs starting August 29th.
I think the most important thing for an Alberta audience is that it's not oil and gas. And that's pretty much the sum total of the exercise. It's not food, beef, cattle. Those things continue to remain free from tariffs.
About $1.5 billion of Alberta exports will be affected, which economist Moshe Lander says is a relatively small piece of the economic pie.
The problem is that the whole point of this exercise is to try and engineer a way back to free trade, not to engineer away from it.
It's another unpredictable element for an industry that's already facing lower yields because of recent wet weather.
It's hard to plan for something that you don't know when it's going to end, if this is a temporary measure or if this is years and years of fighting against our biggest partner and friend and ally.
Now, Premier Danielle Smith issued a statement about this trade war today, taking a Team Canada stance. She says she's offered to work with Ontario Premier Doug Ford to strengthen the Canadian economy and says a strong energy sector leads to a strong Canada. To that end, she plans to push for more pipeline projects and reiterated her position that cutting off Alberta's energy exports to the States is not a viable option to push for a trade deal. Nariman?
Thank you. Jeremy Thompson reporting live for us tonight. A retail expert says he expects the collapse of trade talks between Canada and the U.S. to spur more Buy Canadian sentiment. The director of the University of Alberta's retail school says it's elbows up for many Canadians again. He says since a deal appeared close, that will push people towards Canadian products.
The story from the Canadian side is that the Americans ask for new things at the 11th hour that were completely unacceptable to them. And so I think when consumers hear these kinds of narratives, it's going to really engage them back into that strong feeling that they need to buy as many Canadian goods as possible.
We'll have reaction to the trade tensions from leaders on both sides of the border later this hour. A 22-year-old man is dead in Edmonton's second fatal motorcycle crash of this year. Edmonton police say it happened yesterday afternoon in the area of Calgary Trail and Anthony Henday Drive. They say a westbound motorcyclist trying to exit on the Calgary Trail ramp lost control. He was thrown from his bike. The rider was brought to hospital where he died of his injuries. Police say speed is believed to be a factor in the crash. EPCOR says despite record-breaking rainfall this summer, the city's infrastructure held up well. That was part of a status report in front of a City Hall committee. As Mayor Valdez-Carletti reports, despite mostly positive reviews, councillors want to know what it would cost to speed up flood protection.
June and July saw 3 times the amount of rain we normally see. EPCOR officials told councillors at City Hall.
The storms this year were very unique and quite extreme in nature.
Some parts of the city struggled to keep up. EPCOR pegs the cost to repair sinkholes between $10 to $15 million.
We had a couple major ones, like one in Lauderdale. That was probably a few $1 million.
Still, EPCOR says its infrastructure did its job, handling both prolonged rain and short intense bouts of rain.
It conveyed that water to the river or to our treatment facilities, which also performed quite well.
A lot of our infrastructure held up the way we had envisioned it to.
The city is 7 years into a 20-year, $1.6 billion flood mitigation plan. A motion passed today will find out if the city can expedite it next year and what it could cost you.
Obviously, that comes with higher utility rates, so you have to weigh that against the risk of having another once in 200-year flooding event.
The plan is for long-term community resilience. It does take time. It doesn't happen overnight. It does take time to implement.
EPCOR says it's still on a plan to fix Horseshoe Creek. The creek had already been flagged for erosion, and the storm significantly accelerated the damage.
They could have done preventive maintenance in the tens of thousands of dollars. Now it's in the millions of dollars.
EPCOR says it paused the project since the city wanted to upgrade the roads.
I just don't want to get into a scenario where we're paying for the same thing twice and then putting the community through yet another sequence of major construction.
Further details on infrastructure damage caused by the rainfall will be discussed at City Hall on Wednesday. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Several Terwilliger storm ponds are being treated to remove invasive fish. Work started today on a pond between Speaker Way and Sandon Cove. 2 more area ponds will undergo treatment next week. EPCOR is using the chemical rotenone to kill fish such as Prussian carp and goldfish. The compound only affects gilled animals. EPCOR says the work is part of its annual program to ensure invasive species stay out of waterways such as the North Saskatchewan River. Invasive species threaten natural ecosystems by outcompeting native animals for food and habitat. The city is confirming a 17th case of Dutch elm disease in a tree downtown. They say the city says it owns that tree. It's within the 1 kilometer radius of previously confirmed cases. City crews identified the disease. After testing confirmed Dutch elm, the tree was removed. Dutch elm disease is a contagious fungal infection that spreads easily to nearby elms. The city says it poses a significant threat to Edmonton's trees. Just weeks after City Centre Mall was acquired by new owners, Kingsway Mall has also changed hands. Real estate developer Westcliff announced it has acquired Kingsway. The company says the purchase marks their return to Western Canada. It says it will work closely with the mall's existing team to ensure a smooth transition. Kingsway Mall has operated in that spot since 1976. The company says it attracts close to 7 million visitors a year. Construction on one of the busiest parts of 101st Street is now underway. Work on 101 Street between Jasper Avenue and 102nd A Avenue started today and will last a week. The city says most of the construction will take place overnight. During the work, one lane will remain open in each direction. Lane closures will be removed whenever possible. There will still be access to homes and businesses in the area, though the city says the people living nearby can expect some noise. Bus routes will not be impacted. Kids were getting creative and preparing for back to school at Bonnie Doon Mall today. The mall and Kids Help Phone teamed up to put on the Sticker Talk event. Kids were given a free journal to decorate and take home. Organizers say it's to get their creative juices flowing and helps with mental wellness.
I think it's really good to do that this time of year because it's a hectic, busy time of year. So I think we wanted to have families know that this resource is available and it has a 24/7 helpline and lots of resources for mental wellness.
Parents can find more advice for managing mental health this time of the year at the Kids Help Phone website. There was an early lesson on taking the bus at the Edmonton Expo Centre today. First-time bus riders and their families had a chance to meet with drivers, practice getting on and off the bus, and even went for a ride. Edmonton Public Schools puts on the event every year.
I think it's going to be fun because it's a bus, and buses are usually fun on field trips.
I love it. I love the kids. They keep me young. I love watching them. I love learning with them. They teach me every day.
Most Edmonton area students return to class next week. Japanese star Miyu Yamashita stole the show at the CPKC Women's Open here in Edmonton. The 25-year-old claimed her fourth LPGA Tour victory and second this year with a dominating performance. She finished at 23 under par. She was 9 shots ahead of Yuri Yoshida, who came in second. Her 4-day score of 257 in Edmonton tied the lowest all-time on the LPGA Tour. And all week, Edmonton hosted the best in women's golf. While the competition heated up at the Royal Mayfair, there were many winners throughout the city. CTV's Noah Rashog reports.
It's one of the most important tournaments Canadian Michelle Jing has ever played.
I was so excited for today because I just knew there were going to be a lot of people around. It's such a unique experience for me because obviously, I don't get to play these tournaments too often, so.
A tournament like this is a first for many spectators. The first time an LPGA event has been hosted in Edmonton in 13 years.
You see it on TV, but when you're out here, it's way different. Pretty cool experience and great weather too, so can't complain.
Yeah, it's awesome to see all the fans and the pros here and all the top players in the world. So
totally.
Yeah.
Sunny day here in Edmonton. Can't get any better.
These fans were the wind in Jing's sails.
Just having the people from this event, just the crowd cheering you on extra makes it a little more fun, gives you more encouragement to play well.
Overall, the Women's Open saw more than 75,000 fans pass through the Royal Mayfair's doors over 5 days.
Yeah, business isn't bad. Golf is booming. It's still on a high, and to be part of the largest ever women's golf event in Canada, I think is a pretty cool feather to have in the cap of Edmontonians and the Royal Mayfair. So it's been just another great week that we're super proud of.
Tournament director Brian Newton says that Edmonton's showing has been one of the largest he's ever seen for the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, Edmonton has been maybe the best host city I've ever worked with. The support from volunteerism and from fans and from Royal Mayfair has been incredible. The location of Royal Mayfair here, just across the river from downtown, right next to Harlack Park, just an incredible location.
The Open comes to a close with a donation ceremony as CPKC submits a donation for $4.4 million to the Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation. The tour is headed to Boston for its next chapter. Noah Rashog, CTV News, Edmonton.
It was a really nice weekend, a nice start to this week. We got one more week till the kids are back in school. They're probably wanting some really good weather.
Yeah, and they're going to get some sunshine and some heat over the course of the next couple of days. Temperatures will be close to 30 Wednesday, Thursday here in the city. Today, into the mid-20s. We're at 23 degrees downtown right now. We hit 24 for a daytime high, 22s and 23s outside the city. Not as windy as we thought it would get this afternoon. We did certainly get the clearing, though, after a cloudy start to the day. 16 degrees with those clouds this morning, even a few scattered showers in parts of the area. 24 puts us 2 degrees above average. This is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 consecutive days in the red, above average after aside from 30 on the 1st. It was a cool start to August, but we're ending it on a warm note. We'll see a few more of those above average days before the week and the month are through. That's what it looks like outside right now. Skies are pretty clear over the Edmonton area, and they'll stay that way, it looks like, right through the next 2 or 3 days. Nice little upper ridge moving in. So with the clear skies, it'll be a little cooler tomorrow morning than it was this morning. 16 for a morning low today. We'll be around 15 or 16 at midnight, dropping to around 11 or 12 degrees tomorrow morning. Lots of sunshine, up to about 26 tomorrow afternoon. And then, as we said, highs near 30 for Wednesday, Thursday. We'll talk a little bit more about all that in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Well, still ahead, a bespoke studying space for Indigenous students.
When we talk about land acknowledgements, this is a key part of that. This is the action after.
How the new and improved space at the University of Alberta will serve Indigenous students' minds, bodies, and spirits. Also,
is this something you've been looking forward to all summer?
Yes.
Hundreds of Edmonton kids are preparing to make lemonade in support of the Stollery.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
The University of Alberta is celebrating 150 years of Treaty 6 with the opening of the new and improved First Peoples House. The centre will provide a space for Indigenous, Métis, and Inuit students to study and relax. CTV's Noah Rashog brings us the story.
This is the first time that we have a space that is our own.
At the center of the University of Alberta grounds, dozens gathered to celebrate. After years of work coinciding with 150 years of Treaty 6, the First Peoples House opened its doors in a new location.
This is the gold standard of how and which we should be serving our First Nations and Métis Inuit students. When we talk about land acknowledgements, this is a key part of that. This is the action after.
Before, these programs were run out of just one room, unable to fully accommodate the university's 2,000 Indigenous students.
But this new space enables us to do so much more in the way of supporting our students. As I mentioned, it includes a kitchen, a gym facility. None of that existed in the previous space. Enhanced study space for students, space for ceremony, a really beautiful space.
When Shayna Dion was growing up, she says she never had access to a facility like this, one where she felt she could be in her own space and embrace her culture.
It's needed because we've never been allowed in this space from the very beginning. The universities weren't created for us in mind. And now that they are, we get to stand firmly and authentically in who we are in this space.
The journey of reconciliation has been a challenging one, as we know, and it's been a long journey.
The new center's 3 floors are all themed. Gyms for the physical realm, healing spaces for the emotional realm, and study spaces for the mental realm, making all of the difference for the students who use it.
I will probably be spending a lot of the last of my degree here because I have a place where I walk in the door and I feel like I have been acknowledged.
Dion says she can't wait to see the students' faces in September when they see their new space. Noah Rashog, CTV News, Edmonton.
Kids will be out selling lemonade to support other kids this weekend.
Is this something you've been looking forward to all summer?
Yes.
Junior lemon squeezers are getting ready for Simply Supper's Lemonade Stand Day. Kids who are planning to sell lemonade on Sunday were picking up their kits, including their T-shirts and supplies. The annual event raises money for the Stollery Children's Hospital.
This year we're hoping to purchase cameras for the NICU so parents who have babies in the hospital can watch them from home.
Monita Chapman says this year there are more than 700 stands and 3,500 kids registered. Well, still ahead, plenty of pride.
We've had a blast. It was the best time we've ever had. It's beautiful.
The Edmonton Pride Parade goes ahead despite some controversy, with members of the community saying the conversation around policing must continue.
People that will be attending events and the people that are most directly impacted by the presence of police and things like that need to be brought into conversation more.
Clear skies outside right now, and we'll keep those clear skies for the next couple of days. We get the heat without the storms. until Thursday evening. Forecast next.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
It was a record-breaking year for the Fringe Festival. The Fringe says by noon yesterday, there were 825,000 visitors. There are a record 550 sold-out shows, and 24 shows sold out every single performance. More than $1.5 million will go directly back to the artists, beating last year's record. Festival organizers say they benefited from 11 days of sunshine and audience engagement.
How do we get first-time Fringers out to the festival? How do we get them in to see a live theater show? We have definitely seen an increase in folks who are fringing with us for the very first time, and we're just so excited to welcome them to their new favorite summer tradition.
Organizers say the festival brought in more than $20 million in economic impact to the city. Despite some organizations boycotting, the Edmonton Pride Festival brought thousands of people downtown over the weekend. It wasn't the only place Edmontonians were showing their pride. CTV's Curtis Goodrum reports.
Edmonton's Pride Parade and Trans March saw thousands attend. It's the second since its 2018 cancellation.
We've had a blast. It was the best time we've ever had. It's beautiful. Lots of fun. Lots of different people. It's a crazy situation here, and I love it.
It's important to celebrate, I guess, like queerness in Edmonton because it's actually really fun.
It's nice to see how many people actually come out for Pride and just the community coming all together.
Everyone's here for the same reason, love and pride.
This year's festival has not been without controversy. The night before the event, the Edmonton Pride Centre decided they wouldn't participate due to police presence, joining a group of organizations boycotting the festival. Event organizers did not allow police to march in the parade. However, police were stationed at roadblocks during the march.
I think as a community, we need to come together and really have conversations on what safety means for everybody.
Organizers say there will be a festival next year, despite controversies.
Pride Fest is going nowhere, and we will always make sure that you're safe at the Edmonton Pride Festival.
While not starting as a Pride Fest alternative, the Cherry Pit's art showcase for LGBTQ2S+ members at Dawson Park became one.
I'm really glad that we could provide another space for queer youth and queer people of color that don't involve the police.
They say Pride Fest needs to regain the trust of the community.
The people that will be attending events and the people that are most directly impacted by the presence of police and things like that need to be brought into conversation more.
We're still having to fight every way, every day, and if we ever stop, we're going to lose everything we've already gained.
Pride Fest says the future of police marching in the parade is up to the LGBTQ2S+ community and EPS. Curtis Goodrum, CTV News, Edmonton.
All right, well, Josh was saying that the heat's going to be making a nice little return this week.
Yeah, I mean, you saw with the temperature calendar earlier, 30 degrees August 1st. We'll be close to 30 again. Not tomorrow, but Wednesday, Thursday. So finally, a little bit of heat settling in here over the past couple of days as we're now at 9 consecutive days above average. And we'll see at least 3 more of those. We're at Valley Sky Camp, clear skies. We're at 23 degrees right now after hitting a high of 24 earlier today. It was 25 in Fort McMurray, Grand Prairie at 26. Humidity was not much of an issue for most of the province. Cold Lake, though, was feeling closer to 29 with the humidity this afternoon. Dew point there was up to 17 degrees this afternoon. Lloydminster just 18 for an actual temperature for a daytime high today as rain was in the area for most of the day on the backside of this low pressure system. You can see that spinning about. That brought all kinds of stormy weather to parts of eastern and southern Alberta. Areas just south of Edmonton, we had large hail in a number of spots, some really significant storms in through a couple of areas. All kind of dodged the Edmonton area, though, and no storms in the forecast over the next couple of days. thanks to this upper ridge. This warm air in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, that's going to settle things down, keep us fairly sunny, help to pump in some heat here over the next little bit. So ridge kind of peaks on Wednesday, and then late Thursday into Friday, you can see the cooler air in the upper levels that rolls in. That upper level trough on the leading edge of it is going to set off some more showers and thunderstorms late in the day on Thursday. As far as tonight's concerned, skies are pretty clear across most of the province. There might be a little bit of thin cloud cover here and there, but really nothing significant for the next couple of days. Look, even Wednesday, no real significant cloud cover. It's Thursday evening that we run the best chance of seeing some showers and thunderstorms, especially in through parts of central Alberta and north central Alberta. We'll have to keep an eye on that situation because potentially some severe storms there. 24, Fort McMurray and Cold Lake right now. It's 23 in Edmonton. We've lost a degree from our daytime high today. Jasper, Grand Prairie still at 25 degrees and 22 in Red Deer. We'll be around 20 mid-evening. It was 16 for a morning low yesterday. We'll be around 15, 16 degrees at midnight tonight and then falling to about 11. No cloud cover to help insulate things like we had last night. Sunshine through the afternoon hours, light wind, and about 26 for a daytime high. 29 Wednesday, mainly sunny once again. 29 Thursday. We'll see some increasing cloud late in the day. Chance of a shower or thunderstorm in the evening. Friday, partly cloudy, and we go from near 30 Thursday afternoon to around 20 on Friday as that cooler air drops in. Through the weekend, chance of some scattered showers late in the day Saturday. Highs will be in the low 20s, it looks like Saturday, Sunday, and then low to mid 20s through the rest of next week as we say goodbye to August and head into September.
Thank you, Josh. Well, still ahead, controlling the narrative.
They came in with a bunch of unreasonable last-minute demands. I frankly thought we had a deal.
Members of the Trump administration waste no time in blaming Canada for a trade deal breakdown. Meanwhile,
well, he can kiss my ass as far as I'm concerned. We're going to go at him full steam.
A different story north of the border as the Prime Minister and premiers prepare for the trade war to heat back up. Returning now to our top story, U.S. President Donald Trump is hitting Canada again, days after trade talks fell apart. Punishing 50% tariffs will come into effect on January 1st. Prime Minister Mark Carney has pledged to match U.S. tariffs dollar for dollar. CTV's Mike LeCouture has the latest.
At the White House, President Donald Trump said nothing about the collapsed trade negotiations, instead doing his talking on social media. Repeating a claim that the U.S. doesn't need Canada, Trump also threatened to increase tariffs on the auto and steel sectors to 50% starting January 1st.
There is a mutually beneficial deal possible here.
While trying to remain hopeful, Prime Minister Mark Carney pushed back on any suggestion that Canada can't survive without the Americans.
An attitude at the negotiation table that Canada is a subsidiary of the United States. The Canadian industry is going to be disadvantaged relative to American industry. That's not something we're going to accept.
While Carney chose his words carefully, Ontario Premier Doug Ford went after Trump on radio.
Well, he can kiss my ass as far as I'm concerned. We're going to go at him full steam.
That comment may have teed off Trump, who responded online with another post, calling Carney governor and Ford a flunky for the Prime Minister.
You know, your own people, President Trump, don't even like you. And they're going to speak loud and clear when it comes to the midterms. And if I was allowed to, I'd be down there door knocking.
Ford also floated the idea of export taxes on products the U.S. needs, like energy, potash, and critical minerals. It's something premiers and the Prime Minister have been hesitant to consider, but in French, Carney said all options are on the table. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is calling for the text of the failed deal to be made public.
Canadians need to know what it is that we are rejecting. My view is that we need to fight for tariff-free trade.
The Prime Minister has threatened dollar-for-dollar counter tariffs on the U.S. starting the day after Labor Day. Details of what Canada will target are expected Tuesday morning. We're also anticipating to hear about government relief measures for workers and businesses affected by American tariffs. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
The U.S. is placing the blame on Canada for the collapse of talks, saying Ottawa wanted more than the Americans could give. The Trump administration also accused Ottawa of pushing an agenda to the American public ahead of the U.S. midterms. CTV's Abigail Beeman is in Washington with more.
They were offered quite a good deal. They chose to reject it.
They came in with a bunch of unreasonable last-minute demands. I frankly thought we had a deal.
Simply, they wanted more.
One by one, members of the Trump administration blame Canada for leaving a so-called good deal on the table, suggesting the Prime Minister walked away for his own political gain.
It certainly doesn't make economic sense, but perhaps for political reasons. They have some by-elections coming up. I don't know, but they came in and they wanted more, and we weren't prepared to do that.
A former senior White House trade advisor acknowledges there are completely different narratives on each side of the border, with the U.S. not calling this a trade war, but a stalemate.
And at the very last moment, Prime Minister Carney made the political call to pull out. I think there's a lot of suspicion that it had very little to do with the substance of what was actually being negotiated and a lot to do with domestic politics back at home.
While the vice president treads on a familiar offensive trope.
Canada is a state. Sorry, Freudian slip. That was actually an accident. Canada is a country that has underinvested in its military that quite literally would get invaded by a foreign country were it not for the umbrella of protection provided by the United States of America.
But other political watchers point out it's the Republicans who stand to suffer politically as the clock draws out.
These policies are not helping the American economy. And I think as school returns and we get back into September, the dialogue related to the midterm elections will put a lot of pressure on the cost of living challenges the Republicans are bringing on Americans.
A number of trade experts believe talks could resume later this fall after a cooling off. The vice president himself categorized negotiations as still ongoing. Again, very different messaging from the Canadian side. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Washington.
Nearly 6 months after starting the war with Iran, the Trump administration says it's launching what it calls an economic D-Day against Iran.
These measures broaden secondary sanctions risk for anyone foolish enough to continue conducting business with this regime and will accelerate the speed with which we pursue them.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent issued a new round of sanctions against Iran. He's warning countries there is a set deadline to stop activities targeted by Washington or face action from the U.S. Treasury. President Trump says Iran is collapsing as the U.S. rolls out new sanctions. Bessent calls the measures the single greatest financial offensive ever against an adversary. The move is part of a shift in U.S. strategy using economic pressure to try to break the deadlock with Iran. With trade and sovereignty top of mind, Prime Minister Mark Carney outlined a new shipbuilding contract, the largest in Canadian history.
We'll move fast. The first steel, Canadian steel, the first steel will be cut next fall. The first ship will be delivered 5 years later, and the first full fleet, and the full fleet will be in service 5 years after that.
Carney says the government will spend $11 billion to build 6 new icebreakers. More than 1,500 suppliers from across Canada will be involved in the work. The new ships will replace the Canadian Coast Guard's aging heavy and medium icebreakers. One of Russia's largest online retailers says Ukrainian drones hit 4 of its logistic hubs today. Video shows the moment of an attack on one of the facilities located in the Russian region of Dagestan. Thick smoke could be seen rising in the air in the aftermath. The company Ozon says several people were injured. Both Russia and Ukraine have denied deliberately targeting civilians since the start of the war. People in northern Vietnam are evacuating their homes as a storm in the region causes flooding and landslides. Typhoon Nara is bringing heavy rain and has forced thousands of people to evacuate. Video from the region shows homes partially submerged underwater. The storm is also hitting parts of southern China. Staff at the London Zoo are showing off the process of weighing several of its animals. From penguins to monkeys, all kinds of animals were weighed by staff. Officials say the annual check-in allows for the monitoring of each animal's health, development, and possible pregnancies. The weight of the animals involved range from less than a gram to up to 3/4 of a ton. Still ahead, the art of the deal hitting Canadian artists.
Oh, I immediately burst into tears because it was real.
Canadian painters, photographers, and more facing tariffs, threatening their ability to do business across the border. Also ahead.
Holy.
Red Deer County is introducing new supports as the community is battered by hail. And we are taking a live shot from the CTV drone over the Walterdale Bridge. A beautiful evening to spend some time outdoors. Stay with us. Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar took a hit. It's trading a little more than 72 cents U.S. Oil was down by about $2, closing at $85 U.S. a barrel. Gold gained $17. On the stock market, the TSX gained 93 points, while the Dow Jones gained 140 points. While tariffs on steel, lumber, and the auto sector are getting plenty of attention, Canadian artists are also now facing major levies on original works being sold in the U.S. Some say it's a market they can't afford to lose. CTV's John Benavelli-Rao has more.
These 12 by 12 squares are what I'm known for.
Laurette Lusagic showed us the kind of artwork she creates and has sold to customers in 40 countries. But one nation in particular makes up the single biggest share of her sales, the U.S.
It's about a third of my income, or maybe even half, depending on the year.
The Toronto-based artist says American clients are her bread and butter and was stunned to hear her works would be tariffed at 50%. Driven home just this morning after she packed up a small $450 piece, sold this past weekend to an American. And when she went online to ship it, the charge, including the new tariff, was over $260, way up from the $30 to $50 it used to cost for shipping only.
Oh, I immediately burst into tears because it was real.
Lusagic says, like many artists, she makes a very modest living and worries she'll lose many of her U.S. customers who won't want to pay such a huge tariff. A cancer survivor, she's been through adversity before, hoping to maybe make up some lost sales by finding more domestic buyers, but it may be tough.
I can only encourage Canadians to buy local art.
Among the Canadian artwork being tariffed, paintings and drawings, collages, sculptures, original prints, and works incorporating materials like bone and antler, which could hit indigenous artists particularly hard. June Hunter is a Vancouver-based photographer and artist who specializes in images of ravens and crows. She sells about 50 pieces a month to Americans, but has now suspended most of her sales to the U.S. until, as she puts it, the dust settles on this latest flare-up, which is threatening half her business.
I'm obviously not alone. We're all in this together. I feel lucky, and at least I'm not having to lay anybody off. It's just me having to pivot on my own.
Meanwhile, the artists say they'll continue to make art, but making a living from it just got a lot harder. John Benavelli-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
WestJet flight attendants have voted 90% in favor of ratifying a new contract with the airline. The agreement includes a more than 18% pay hike over 3 years and compensation for work done on the ground. Nearly 4,400 flight attendants went on strike for a day earlier this month, prompting more than 900 flight cancellations. Red Deer County has established a hailstorm cleanup relief program after a storm hit the hamlet of Springbrook. So photos and video show large balls of ice and visible damage to the exteriors of homes and buildings. Red Deer County says it's currently assessing buildings and facilities following the storm. It hasn't found significant damage to utilities or waste management. Chelsea Lavelle lives in Springbrook. She says the storm came in quickly, and once the hail started, it came down fast and hard.
We took a drive around town. It's looking like a lot of the siding looks like Swiss cheese. I was surprised. I just thought it was going to be a little sprinkle, or I wasn't expecting it to be like plant shearing, birdhouse damaging, rip off your siding kind of hailstorm.
Lavelle says while her home and some others made it through okay, some homes have significant exterior damage. Starting tomorrow, people can bring organic debris like fallen trees and branches to the Hornhill Waste Transfer Station to be disposed of for free. Well, still to come, a butterfly boom of sorts in the prairies.
Particularly for the prairie provinces, it gives us information to understand how important are the prairies to the monarch population as a whole.
Researchers are seeing an uptick in the number of monarch butterfly sightings on the prairies.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV.
Tuesday in your morning with Tell Us World of Science closed until next year because of flooding. What education are they doing until then? Plus, we'll get you ready for fall routine with meal prep ideas for back to school.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
As the weather improves, Albertans may notice more monarch butterflies fluttering through gardens. CTV's Alison Bamford has more on what's behind the butterfly boom.
Tyler Flockhart studies monarch butterflies. He's fascinated by the resilience of something so fragile.
You have an insect that weighs as much as a quarter that can fly all the way from southern Canada all the way to Mexico and then back in the spring. It's pretty remarkable.
Monarch butterflies are an endangered species in Canada and not common on the prairies. But this year, the ecologist is seeing more than usual in Saskatoon, a sign that we could be in the midst of a butterfly boom.
We know that when monarchs are at fairly good numbers in the summer, they start showing up in places where you are in the western provinces.
People across the prairies are taking note, patiently capturing the tiny details of metamorphosis from caterpillar to chrysalis to butterfly. Experts say it's common for insect populations to fluctuate. Favorable weather conditions likely contributed to this year's numbers.
Over the long term, we're still in a state where the populations are considerably lower than what they had been.
Habitat loss, particularly the loss of milkweed plants, seems to be the main driver behind the declining population. Flockhart is now part of a larger group looking into the monarch's exact habitat locations, using these tiny tags to track where the monarchs go and when they go there. Information that he says could help in conservation.
Particularly for the prairie provinces, it gives us information to understand how important are the prairies to the monarch population as a whole.
Some monarchs have already started migrating. Flockhart hopes to begin tagging butterflies as soon as possible so their flights south can be tracked in real time. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
I would take a butterfly boom over a mosquito boom. How about you?
Oh, I wish. I wish.
Hot and sunny for the next couple of days. 26 degrees tomorrow, 29 on Wednesday, 29 on Thursday. Sunny for most of the day Thursday. I think late in the afternoon we'll start to see a little bit of cloud cover. And Thursday evening, chance of some showers or thunderstorms. Back to the low 20s after Thursday. And that is kind of going to persist, it looks like, through most of next week as well. Low to mid 20s. So that, I mean, at least the kids get the heat before they go back to school.
I was just going to say.
Instead of right after they go back to school.
I know. One last hurrah before it's warm in your classroom. Yep. That's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good rest of your evening. Good night.